All right, we're hopping into game number 3. One and all, welcome back to Caramel. Actually, it's called Caramel, but we call it Caramel. I already know where the community is going with this one. This is an interesting map. Really, it just feels like an altered version of Regions from competitive play. You only get baby veins, 1,600 gold in your starting vein, and only one big vein on the entire map, the 8k in the center. All the others are baby veins. But that is not baby brain, that's smart brain. Broad, I appreciate the Prime sub. Reminder, guys, you've got Prime subs. You need to come through here every month and make sure you're dropping them on the channel to support the channel and dodge the ads. Instead, you get to listen to me do my own version of ad about priming. But I'm primed and ready for this one. We saw Chinese versus Knights Templar earlier today on a pub game, and it got heinously wild as the game went on. I actually think Knights Templar can do quite well against China. And Sass is interested in one thing. G1, he plays Knights Templar, he outpost rushes. G2, he's going to try to outpost rush the Chinese. What? That's a bit wild. Because you can't spearman rush them. The gold is too close to the TC, so it has to be an outpost rush. I guess he's going to try to deny the tree line. Oh, no, this is sick. If he can actually, like, sneak an outpost here... No, you'd have to build it here, which is too close. The village will get pulled. But technically, if you could get an outpost here, you could deny all the sheep. Speaking of sheep. So it's going to be 13 to 17. To be expected here, reminder, China have better vision on their scouts. They tend to see the sheep quicker than you. Sass actually has tried to alleviate the concern. He already went out onto the deer. Reminder, you have a lot of food near you. The spawns on Carmel are not perfect. We're going to be featuring it in KPMM, but it's definitely not a perfectly designed map right now. There needs to be a more balanced spawn, because sometimes one player just gets this. This is ridiculous. Like, the amount of deer on this screen is absurd. He's got 21 deer here. Sorry, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28? 28 deer? No, 27. I think it's 27. 27 deer and a boar on almost one screen. It's like a screen and a half. And the berries. Meanwhile... You know, Sass has a lot as well, but it's notably less. He's got like 13 deer here, boar, pumba. Thing is, what I will say is this can be like a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. If someone all-ins you, you lose all your food access. But I do feel like this dynamic of, you know, all food on one location or not, while it's fine for variant spawn, it does need to be equal. It's almost like you kind of wish you had the mirror spawns. So, outpost is going to be going up. I wonder if Sass is going to turn this into a staging point. This feels like an Antioch game. Does it? If you're thinking your opponent's going to play flank resources, Kingdom of France is really good for raiding. Hospitalier could make sense. But the problem is, if China rushes Chuganu, the Hospitalier have less ranged armor. And if you are worried about Chuganu, yeah, dude, I think you might have to go French if you want to play H2. Yeah. This is one of those matchups where I don't think you actually have as much agency and choice. The reason, guys, is if you go Axemen, Chuganu destroy you. If you go for Knights Hospitalier, Chuganu also destroy you. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, yeah. Correct choice by Sass going into French. Wait, what am I reading in chat? AoE4 pulling a profit was bizarre? What do you mean? I'm confused. What, are people arguing on whether this DLC was profitable? Okay, this actually might be the highest value Barbican I've ever seen. What? Okay, so he's gonna pull Pumbaa. Wait, wham, 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 wham. Wham, no. Wham, no. Get the stabby boys out. Oh my god, this is so many villages. This is ridiculous. He pulled 13 villages. That is wild. Yeah, by far the most high value Barbican I think I've ever seen. And Sass knows it. He needs to deny it. So difficult to do though. The archers are already here. Oh my god. I mean, just look at this thing. I want to get the UI out of the way so you can see the value on this thing. Oh my god. That is full chimichanga cha-ching. So that Barbican, like we said, it's got like, what, underneath it, let's say roughly 20 deer. Berry batch, boar as well. Like he's sitting on over 10,000 food underneath that thing. Over 10,000 food. Easily. Actually, you said 20 deer, so yeah. Berries, 3k. It's actually more like 15k food. Someone's gonna make me do the true count now, aren't they? 4, 5. Oh no, I can't even select them all. Yeah, it's about 20 deer. So 20 deer is going to be 9,000 food, and then the berries are going to be another 3,000, and then the boar is 2.2. So you're close to 15k food. That is... This map is crazy. I'll tell you what, it came at a good time. Just after Pro Scouts was up and outed. China may prove to be one of the scariest civs, because Carmel isn't just good for China because of the Barbican play. It's also really good because of the gold. This civ doesn't eat through its gold as quickly due to taxation. Imperial Academy is still, in my opinion, a top 3 feudal landmark in the game. Easily one of the best. So we do at least have pilgrims coming for SAS, so that's going to be some gold gen. Maximum as well, 130. He's going to play for his own boar now. Like the fact he used one of the Chevalier Coffre. SAS has to be thinking, I need to play blocker though, right? I don't think he wants to try and turn this into an eco game. It's just way too much food that Wham has safely. And reminder, at this stage, you know, he's got Song Dynasty, he's scaling more villages. He also has Taxmen to 20% gen up. Like, you can Pilgrim, it helps a bit. But I think SAS knows that pressure is his way out of the hole. All the other top 3 landmarks in the game. Aachen is definitely number 1 still. For feudal, anyway. Outside of that, for feudal, what was that one we put up there, guys? I think Dome of Faith. AoE is losing money, and I said I doubt they would invest it, continue to invest if that's the case. So there's like an argument of speculative growth value as well. It's like you may be willing to take a loss now if you think you can make more money elsewhere. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is Age of Empires would have seen huge budget cuts since release to rebalance its economical value. Like, if you can... So what would be interesting is if you look at the marketing campaign that Age of Empires 4 done when it released, and then try to calculate whether they actually made a return on that. That I'm not sure of. Because the other thing that's complicated with Microsoft is they muddy the waters with Xbox Game Pass. So these pass systems actually complicate the way you map out the investment value point of a game. Because you need to somehow now equate a value in your subscription service. It's not always clean. That is something that's actually made many different media elements confusing. So a perfect example of this, guys, is... I can't remember the name of it. A movie released this year. The whole idea is it's based on a book where robots tried to rebel and they lost their rebellion. And now, like, humans oppress them. And reviewers thumbs down it big time. Like, they said it sucked. It was just really pretty CGI, but pretty bad script. But Netflix quoted it as its most successful directly created movie so far because the amount of people who have watched it. But that's because, like, people on Netflix will just watch anything because it's there, it's free. So it's kind of similar logic of, like, how you balance, like, what is the intrinsic value of Age of Empires 4 to Xbox Game Pass? That's very difficult to figure out. You can try to use, like, the amount of players played. Maybe you need to go by game hours average. But then, like, the concept is, like, game hours average doesn't matter as much as initial pickup because you could argue initial pickup drives subscription. See, like, it's really confusing. Yes, Electric State was the movie. Yeah, I think they probably by now, it's been too many years for Age of Empires 4 to not have been economically balanced to at least be paying for itself for a reason. Maybe a small loss. This is a big loss. Whoa, Sass with a big dive. He needs those worker kills, though. Chevalier chasing on. Wham has gone for the H3 play, and it's love the rush into a village to protect him. Because he knows his army might struggle to hold this, but this guarantees a minimization of losses, while Sass is now stuck H2. I think this is over. Sass can maybe try to play for a castle up. His income is decent for it. If Wham supervises for night production, this could be problematic, though. I mean, it's a decent amount of worker kills, but like you see the impact of Song after 10 minutes. Worker count is still a lead for Wham, courtesy of not just Song, but the fact that Sass has sacrificed now about to be 5 villages worth of production. Yeah, while we've got a little bit of calming time, because I think Sass isn't going to throw in the towel yet. He hasn't been attacked, so he might as well try for the castle. There is still a potential comeback mechanism. But while we've got a little bit of a calming moment, one thing I'll highlight, guys, is around the Sultan's Ascend DLC. So with Sultan's Ascend, they quoted it as the most successful DLC in the history of Age of Empires. What does that mean, though? That doesn't necessarily mean the most profitable. That could be, but they very specifically didn't elaborate. They didn't say it had the most sales or it made the most money. It's like, it's very hard to gauge. I don't think it was available. Was it available with the Ultimate Pass? Because that also might muddy things. It's like technically Ultimate Passes might count as plays. You say best selling? Was it best selling? Okay, yeah, but my point still stands. Like, best selling doesn't mean you made your most profitable. And also, to the sales point, that's exactly where things get muddied. So, for example, there were arguments on, like, for example, Assassin's Creed. Their sales numbers seemed a bit out compared to, like, their player count. And the logic is actually, if you have the Ubisoft, like, Game Plus Pass, you can technically count a person as a sale because of that. Even if they didn't buy the game directly. Yeah, this is the confusion of, like, macroeconomics within the game industry nowadays. It's so puzzling. So, Sass, gotta give credit to him for not throwing in the towel yet. He's really just trying to stress Wham into making a mistake. Now, this is hard now. This is your ultimate counter. Lancer spam's on the way. I love what he's done here. The gold denial is huge. He knows Wham's got a lot of food. He doesn't want to try to contest the Barbican. Because if he pulls to the Barbican, he's going to block 8 villages as opposed to blocking 40. Really smart read by him. These guys are going to be tricky. The only upside right now, of course, Wham, he doesn't have undermesh. Uh-oh. Spinman's starting to arrive as well. The Pass Guard reminder, they have lower range down the standard men at arms. So right now, 50% damage is penetrating. Okay, you know what? Like, I'll hold my hands up. I thought that dive was like, okay, Sass has to tech or he's dead. Yeah, this dude had the perfect reading. That gold looks ugly for Wham. 0 gold income a minute as China is unheard of. Just tax. Wait. So we've cast 2 series now. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is this about to be Knights Templar 100% win rate after 5 games? No, what? Dude, I'm actually impressed by the recommitment. I would have thought with Sass's economy, this just like mathematically wasn't possible. Knights Templar keeps surprising me more and more. I think I said when it was first revealed and people were like, this looks underpowered, I was like, let them cook. And I was expecting to look stronger than what we were seeing, but so far, kind of being blown away. Still no undermesh for Wham. Throne defense was an interesting choice. Not the greatest against Chevalier. Maybe he was expecting more spears. That makes sense. Yeah, I think Wham was expecting mass spearmen to counter lancers, which is now happening. And he's back on the gold. Kind of crazy the difference that gold makes. Because even if you rush it down, it's only 1,600 gold, which is like 16 lances max. It's not a lot, but also remember tech and everything else. I think Wham, maybe on a standard 4K map, may have put more people on gold earlier to rebalance eco. Just couldn't afford it here. A lot of small things they clearly skipped out due to profit. Oh, what you mean with this pack? So I can like explain away a lot of the cost in this pack. This pack could be very cost efficient and need to be cost efficient because of the reuse of the baseline of different civs. Okay, sick flash by the way. It's just numbers games right now. The Chevalier are just racing Wham's chances. Even one spinman sneaking over to be annoying, but like this dive is everything. Gold is about to run out. Like this is it. This is all he's got. Tax and nothing else. Some bit of a massacre. The Chevalier. I am still being baffled more and more by the impact of this unit. It felt like the most plastic of knights imaginable, but genuinely, at 166 resources, I see its value. We talked about it being like a premium horseman in terms of cost to what you get. But obviously, it's a lot more tanky than a horseman, and also it scales that tankiness the more there are. These guys are crazy. And yeah, so back to the point we're trying to make though. These civs got classified as variant so that they could reuse the baseline code, such as buildings, etc., with slight reskins, decreasing the overall cost of this DLC to make it profitable. It's actually quite smart. The reality is, anyone who's played Knights Templar or House of Lancaster, or has watched more than a handful of games, knows that these civs are unique enough they probably should never have been called variants. With House of Lancaster, the one exception might be the fact that they've got some landmarks from English. But outside of that, very unique. But they've done it for budgeting reasons. Because it's not just the models of the buildings, it's the voice lines, everything else that comes with it. There's so much work that goes into that stuff that I think people don't often appreciate. Like optimizing and finding, and fine lining, say, a village to perfection here. One artist will be working on this for like months. He'll go through so many iterations to like optimize the size of the file, to optimize the texture placement, etc. It's a lot of work. That's why I'm actually done it. This is crazy. When he's out of gold, he somehow got back up to 10 lances. Yeah, he rushed out. Was it here? Okay, so yeah, 400 there. Is this better or worse for Saf the longer he plays this age? It has to be feeling worse the longer this is going on. He's been age 2 for so long, and while it's been impressive what he's achieved, the crazy part to me is this guy has 30 worker kills, and yet he's only 3 ahead. That is freaking wild. It's 40 villages to 50, though. And we are starting to see some raids on the other side, so it looks like the hits are coming in. I don't know, I think despite an admirable effort for Sass, like the issue now is before this looked good because he contained the Lancers. If the Lancers start to break out and do stuff like this, the game is going to be over fast. I think, is Sass going for an all-in keep drop? 2 TC from here would be dangerous. Because you're starting to lose map control and your opponent has mass Lancers. So maybe we see Sass just pull for a keep drop. The issue is this isn't like your classic map where there's a 4K or 8K vein. These small 1600s, if your opponent fortress drops, I think it's more of a shrug. It's annoying, but you just move on. What a crazy game. I don't know if it's the fact that like this just hasn't been figured out yet, or if it's just actually like Knights Templar has a very crafty design that allows for it more than other civs statistically can. But the fact that this game is still going and has remained back and forth is bloody impressive. It's either the civ, the map, may just be the new territory, but this is also why I'm a really big fan of flipping the table regularly. New civs, completely changing certain concepts like the way we revamped Wolves and Pro Scouts. It makes people relearn everything. It's good to be anti-gatekeeping. It allows new people to get into the game because the advantage that someone's built up through their veterancy is diminished somewhat. It keeps things fresh. It keeps the discoverability going. Reality check is people want new stuff. Like, I've been thinking about this. Supervive, I hyped this game up huge. One that's called Project Loki. Had a lot of fun with it, and I just even stopped playing. And the reason is that even though they've added new content, the concept of what people are doing, what they're progressing towards didn't change. There's nothing to aim for. So people moved on. Villagers? Whoa, Sass. Oh my god, he doesn't commit. Wait, what was that switch? Just two groups, second one comes in, so Fortress is going to go up. Okay, this does secure the east side food. Sass is legitimately going to keep doing this. This has been... How long has WAM been castled? Was it 14 minutes? This is 10 minutes of relentless feudal pressure. The crazy thing, by the way, is that WAM, now that he sees mass spearmen, like you'd be expecting archers or Chugnu. He's still building lances. What? Yeah, one thing I will say about Knights Templar is Knights Templar should have been modeled off of H3, not French. The Templar started the French? Is that French? No, I don't care about that. Which is the holiest civ? I think I saw a suggestion made recently I really love, which is that the background music for Knights Templar should be HREs, not French. And I agree with that. Or, I actually think it would be even more appropriate, or still more appropriate than French, to have the background music be in Middle Eastern civ. Because of where Knights Templar, you know, historically spent most of their time. Well, not most of their time, but where they're iconic. How is the villager lead like still not bigger than this? Oh my god. What's going up? Unfortunately not gonna be quick enough. Looks like WAM is gonna sneak in again. Uh-oh. That's gonna be pilgrims as well. Reminder, by the way, like this number is deceptive. It's not all villagers necessarily. Some of it is gonna be pilgrims. It gets muddied because worker kills, killing pilgrims counts. Should have a mixture of French, English, nature. So that idea of mixing the voice lines, probably cool, but once again, it's asset management, resource management. Like you're probably doing a lot more than you realize on the back end to achieve that. Who is winning this game? It definitely feels like it should be WAM. Sass has somehow miraculously found the resources for Castle. And it is going to be the Republic of Genoa, so he's leaning into the sacred sites. Makes sense, he's already got the walls up. WAM does want to go after relics now. Theoretically, Sass can contest that. What? But that is so far. Oh my god, no. No. I am a nun. What was that? You have no arms? Oh, that's a lie. Let me fix that. Oh, the timing on that. Yeah, WAM is definitely ahead now. The villager lead is scaling like crazy. Sass. Upgrades are on the way. He's going to be leaning Chevalier still. Okay, so kind of feels like he watched WAM's Chevalier games like, yeah, this is the way. The difference is WAM had quite a lot Chevalier from what I recall. I think he had around 20 when he was aging up. Sass has 6. In fact, can you even really try to fight into lances from this far behind? Or does it make more sense to switch crossbow? Sass was still feudal? Agreed. But like, Sass was doing a crazy job of making this competitive on the flanks. I think the baffling thing is just how quickly WAM's still able to outscale on Eco despite all the hits. Crazy freaking game. And this feels like the nail in the coffin. This map very reminiscent of regions, and this is a big part of why, guys. You have these pocketed sources, sacred sites in one area, food in another. Gold is central bound. This 8K is equivocal on this map in terms of like percentile scaling to the triple 8K you'd see on that map regions. So if you lock in this, usually you lock your opponent out of the game. Good news for Sass, he's playing a Civ that actually can just keep info golding up, as we're seeing from the Pilgrims. Bad news is China needs this gold, and they're going to get it. No blacksmith upgrades? Joel, Wham's already been over this. He doesn't need blacksmiths to win games. You guys seen him play Delhi? Delhi blacksmith tech's overrated. He like looks at that stuff. He's like, free? You get it for free? I will pay, sir. And then the Delhi blacksmith's like, we don't accept payment. We're like a communal society. And then all of a sudden, Wham's like, communism? That's why he likes playing China. It's capitalist gains. Wait a second, that's not his. Oh, actually, that's kind of modernly accurate. So this is Imp, surely. Does he forge Great Wall? Like Great Wall Gatehouse here, maybe? Just cut off the Pilgrims? We do have more fortresses coming, so Sass is going to make it harder for a dive. Oh, by the way, I'm hoping we're going to see Great Wall Gatehouse, because, guys, they actually did update it. This is another cool thing I want to shout out the devs for. We talked about the fact that, like, when you create new games, new budget, etc., like, it's really hard to go back and justify adding in things to old civs, because they're not generating new revenue. But what the devs done really well, shout out to the team for that, is they took this opportunity with a DLC releasing to go back and fine-tune some older things so they could kind of sneak in the cost there. So, for example, the crossbow animations, they got upgraded. They now look a lot cleaner. Horseman animations also got upgraded. Another thing that got upgraded was the visuals of the Great Wall Gatehouse. No! Okay, we may have to wait. I guess the tricky part about Great Wall Gatehouse is where do you actually put it here? If you've already got a keep, do you really need enough keep here? It's definitely a much better castle, but do you need it? Meanwhile, Sass needs to catch up, so we are going to be getting 2 TC. Alright, get your predictions in. How long do you think this game's going to be? I think we've got a slog on our hands. Because my worry here is, like, what does Wham do in the hyper lane? Does he trade? Well, trade isn't that great on this map because of the trade post locations. Taxation is kind of cool, but it doesn't compete with Pilgrim Treasure Towers. Watch this. Wow. Gold. Oh my... 203 gold. Meet Genoesian Treasure Towers. 800 gold, like that. 1,200 gold incoming. Open your mouth. Choo-choo. Yeah, that's way too much to sink your teeth into. We do at least have you on, so Wham can try to focus on raiding. So we've got 45 minutes, 40 minutes, 37. Actually, ooh, wait. Wham's building siege. This could be very slow. I think despite how good Sass's economy could get, Wham's is going to peak much quicker. Much, much quicker. And although I said late game, he's out of gold. Like, we're not there yet. He still has a lot of these baby veins and still 4K on the central. I believe we are finally going to get to preview that new Great Wall Gatehouse. Unless this is... Is he going to go full... Like, no one goes Spirit Way anymore. So I doubt it. Oh my god, Sass. Hold on, big boy. We're chugga-chugga-choo-chooing. Spirit count is at least building, but the problem there is actually getting them in position takes a long time. Now the Imperial Palace. I don't think it's worth committing. Trying to force the fight. Sass knows he can't turn around. Love this though. He sneaks the cav in. Unfortunately, the wall up came in. So it's a bit difficult to dive in. Wow. Clearly was thinking about the Imperial Age. Is going to have to reinvest now that he sees that many spears. He's going to get a good wallop in here. The Templar brothers and the Chevalier Confrère working together to just cull away the lead that Wham has built up. Man, what a cool game. These are like kind of how I wish most AoE4 games were. You know, sometimes you get these hyper cool late games, but it takes 15 minutes of nothing happening. You know, you twiddle your thumbs, you play pat cake in the corner, and eventually someone wins. But this has been unbridled aggression from start to finish. Loving it. Now we do get those unique trebuchets with the double strike coming out. I'm not going to dive in, but there's already Springles to contest that. Genoese and Crossbowmen are interesting here. He is scaling into them, which is a little bit surprising. They only get buff damage against melee infantry. I think the thought process here for SAS, and we've seen this already from another player, is that technically Genoese crossbows are decent Springle counters. They're very high base damage, so the percentile reduction doesn't hurt them as much. And the other thing is the range. They scale really nicely. If you fight near your keep, you almost have 7 tower range. Then, if you go into Imperial Age, there's a unique tech that gives you an extra 0.5 tower range and 2 damage. KT actually have double damage. No, so the trebs, the base damage is, I think, half the standard treb. The building damage is slightly higher. So the standard treb is 375. They do plus 200. And then I can't remember if normal trebs were 40 or 50. I think normal trebs were 50. In fact, here you go, guys. Sorry, even better. Yeah, so 40 trebs. So like it is more damage. Yes, 40 versus 25, and then 350 versus 200. I think it used to be 375. But the other thing that's kind of interesting, actually, guys, is ships. The ship damage is the same on bonus, but what's more interesting is obviously trebuchets can miss. With multi-shot, you kind of get more opportunities to hit your opponent. By the way, there is an additional tech in Imperial Age that adds a 3rd shot. How many castles is SAS up to now? Enough. Nah, he needs 3 more. Maximum pilgrims. 5 fortresses so far. Is he going for the snipe? I think so. Yeah. Well, when they stack like that, you'll always hit something. It's tricky to get those snipes. Because like I said, like, you're kind of minimizing the RNG and you don't miss as much, but it means you're halving your damage. Nice double hit there, at least. Also, another thing to keep in mind, these are not clock tower trebuchets. Barely snipe. Wham. Coming in with a different kind of hit here, though. I think it's time. There we go. Great Wall Gatehouse now on the way up. All right, who's excited to see the new and improved gatehouse? It's actually a substantial change to the way it looks and thus the way it functions. It's a good change. I still think this is a toxic landmark, but at least it looks logical now. That fortress is kept alive. I mean, if you dive this, 50 lances is tricky. Okay, ready up. We need to have a look at that landmark. SAS is looking for a dive point. He's going to have to go for the main engagement. Springles are difficult here, though. Oh, my. Look at the spearman bodies. He's going to spread out. I mean, you don't have any advantage here. Verit Spear versus Lancer 1-to-1 anyway. Wham gets a highly desirable fight. It's going to be a wipe. It's going to be a wash. I think it's going to be a GG call, which is why we need to have a look at this beauty. There you go. Look at those. The Nesta Bees actually appear on the wall now. And I believe they turn and shoot as well, so it all looks accurate. I just don't see a way now for SAS. I've said that a few times this game, but at this stage, it's like the economics of it. Wham just has a death push on his hands. Shutter triggers on the way in. We don't see it often. Very powerful, though. And the elite tech for the Lancers. Siege is going to get mopped up. I think the problem here for SAS is like he got forced to fight outside the aura. He did have the Desert Citadels. +1 armor probably would have rocked pretty hard here. got a few Chevalier leads slithering in. What's that for? Hold on. Wham. Wham, where's the food? Oh my god, wait. I'm an idiot. Where's Wham's farms? Oh my god, no. What? He never done the farm transition. Alright, I've had an interesting game today. A lot of, like, meta discussions and highlighting the prettiness of things. I didn't even notice it. That's ridiculous. No farm transition. Don't call him out yet. Sass was able to pull a miracle existing in Feudal for 10 plus minutes. He might be about to see the same. I am not used to this. Like, this map is crazy. How are we 37 minutes into the game? And he had 2,000 food income on limited resources still. Like, am I imagining things? Or is that just crazy? Like, it's my bad. I should have checked the farms on the back. But on a subconscious layer, when I look and I see over 2k food income at almost 40 minutes into a game, my brain is like, it's not reasonable to assume he is farm transition. Meanwhile, Sass, he's already done that. He's 30 farms deep. This game is crazy. Now, Sass, what does he want to do with the breathing room? Okay, more fortresses on the way. Siege comp's looking good. Wham does know he can build something other than knights, right? Doesn't look like it. Every time he loses knights, more knights. It's almost like he's holding a grudge for the Chevalier Confrere dive. Man, I'm so happy we've got such a refreshing new meta to discover. I'm glad I'm having these moments like I'm like wrong where, oh wait, no, he hasn't won the game. This is a because it just shows that there's just so much to relearn. I'm so happy for that. Like the Pro Scouts meta in particular was driving me nuts. He was like, and now the guy will just win in like X minutes. And it wasn't a bold call or anything. It just linearly made sense, usually mathematically. Now it's just full crazy. And yes, Sass has produced Trebs. You literally can't build gunpowder units. Knights Templar are not allowed to build gunpowder units. Because God doesn't let you in if you have a gun. It's going to be confusing with the American market. Yeah, this Civ has no gunpowder units. They have anti-gunpowder units. They have better trebuchets via the Scaling Tech University. And yes, agreed, he is castle. But like, even if he wasn't castle, like your whole point you're trying to bring up, I'm trying to defend you here, chill. He's got trebs because they'll keep their scalability. There's nothing else to build later. Give us Condottiero. This technically should be a good civ to build it against because China, Nesta Beast, and and I said technically. These are not hand cannons. I don't think Wham's going to switch comp until he runs out of gold, at which point he wouldn't be able to build hand cannoneers. So, suspecting that, Sass gets a lot more value out of just going into Teutonic. He could... Oh, actually, he could go Kingdom of Poland. Because Slashed Cavalry will also erase. But I think the safest is probably Teuton. Okay, Kingdom of Poland it is. So the reason why Teuton usually feels safer, it bulks your front line because you get the 2 melee armor on all gold units, which is huge. Like most of your comp is gold units. But the other thing is the Teutonic Knights. Palace Guard just feel like they're made of paper. Unfortunately for him, he's now building Slashed Cavalry into Spears. Good news of that, at least, Slashed Cavalry feel like kind of a miss on what their role is. I think if like I had one big thing I'd change, like a scale point that should be different for Knights Templar. I'm not sure why Slashed Cavalry have bonus against light. They have a hammer pick. That's technically that's like an anti-armor unit. I really thought that Slashed would get bonus against heavy. Don't know if anyone else felt that way. Even when I saw the pictures earlier, I'm going to immediately, my analysis was that must be kind of like a premium Gaza. Let's see where he wants to go. It's going to be the elite Templar brothers. Ooh, that's... Oh, that's... Dirty son of a gun. He has Rule of Templars. So this is interesting, guys. Have you ever wanted to see a lance charge for over 100 damage? Because you're going to see it. Reminder, Polish Fortitude gives you 50% more charge damage. And that scales with the Rule of Templars. So instead of getting +2 per charge in cavalry, you get +3. Do you see where this is going? Do you see it? We need to be over 9,000. More cannons are going to start knocking the door. I guess he just wants to ego chow the cavalry. And in fairness, Templar brothers are better. Look at the health. 302 health versus 270, and he hasn't even elited them yet. Watch what happens to the stats. Oh, 0.363. Reminder, when you choose Poland, you also get a 10% buff to cavalry health. Bombards are at least strategic for the keep. It's problematic for SAS. That means less income behind this. He's going to start marching up. Trying to go for snipes for the trebs. And there's the charge in. We didn't quite catch it in time there. We can see a little bit of a glimpse there. 68 damage. We can get that higher, though. We can get that much higher. Remember, that's the default. Mate, what are we doing? What are we doing? Around it. Oh, my God. This game is incredible. Stones just ran out. He has got the trebuchet on top. Look at those extra snipes. It's clock tower bombards, though. They've got so much health. I mean, this is commitment point, though, surely. Look at the pop. Wham doesn't have a front line. Oh, my. They're going to go in. Templar brothers charging. Front line gets erased. Back line to be destroyed. Wham has lost it all. He has no gold to repair off of this. No gold to rebulk with. Which is exactly the beauty of Carmel. Yet somehow it took 43 minutes to run out of that gold. But the brothers are in. Ordained in red so that you can't see the amount of blood spilt all over them. Oh, in this case, it would actually be wood splinters. A 100% win rate in Trials of Cross and Rose for the Knights Templar so far.